Notary test takers. Ooh, do I have a juicy one for you guys today? Put it this way. If you master the questions on this one video, I'm telling you, you're going to pass that test. This is the one. 90% of test takers get caught up and miss these questions, but that's not going to be you. So let's dig in, because it's my job to help you pass the notary test. So before I do, click, subscribe, like, comment, tell me if you already took the test, whatever. Let's hit it. What are some of the questions? I did 10 questions that 90% of exam takers miss. Know these. All right. First, what forms of ID are acceptable for verifying a signer's identity? What forms of ID are acceptable? This is easy, but sometimes they trip you up. The answer: acceptable forms of ID include government issued photo IDs like driver's license, passport, or state ID card. But always check with your state's requirements. I'll repeat: driver's license, passport, state ID card, but double check with your state's requirements. Also, double check to see what a veteran needs to identify themselves. Make sure you know that one too. Number 2 most missed question: what is the difference between an acknowledgment and a jurat? An acknowledgment and a jurat. That always chops people up. The answer: an acknowledgment certifies that the signer personally appeared and acknowledged signing the document, while the jurat involves administering the oath or the affirmation that the contents of the document are true. So what's the difference between acknowledgement and a jurat? I repeat: acknowledgement certifies that the signer personally appeared, right, and acknowledged signing the document. On the other side, the jurat is you're administering an oath or affirmation that the contents of the document are true. That's the differences. Number 3 most missed: what are the maximum fees a notary can charge for their services in your particular state? Hopefully I put the link in for the video I did on those, that I told you all the fees, because you need to memorize all the fees, all right? But typically you must record the date. Oh, well, fees vary from state to state, all right? Just say that. For accurate information, you got to look at what your state fees are. Don't miss that question. You must know the maximum you can charge in your state. Number 4 most mentioned: what information must be recorded in a notary journal? Some states require notary journals, some don't. But if your state requires a notary journal, what's going to go in there? Here's the answer. You must record the date and time of the notarization, the type of document it is, the signer's name and address, the type of ID that they presented to you, and any relevant fees charged. I repeat, what goes in the notary? All right. Date, time of notarization, type of document that was being notarized, signer's name and address, type of ID presented, and any relevant fees. All go in the notary journal. You might want to play this video a few times. Number 5 most missed. 90% of people missed this one. How should a notary handle a signer who appears to be mentally incapacitated? Should you do it or should you not do it? How do you handle this situation? Okay, if a signer appears to be mentally incapacitated or unable to understand the document, you should not proceed with the notarization. If that's the case, don't proceed. That's your answer. Ensure that the signer is competent and willing. There's somebody with them. Make sure you don't get the vibe that they're being forced. The signer must be competent and willing. Remember that. Number 6 most missed questions: what is the proper procedure for administering an oath or affirmation? Answer: an oath requires the signer to swear to the truthfulness of the document, often invoking a higher power. while the affirmation is a solemn declaration made without a religious reference. So the oath might have a religious reference, while the affirmation, you're declaring it without a religious reference. You're not saying amen or so help me God or anything like that, right? Because remember, as a notary, you might be notarizing documents for weddings. Number 7 most missed. Can a notary notarize a document for a family member? This is a common question. I've had this in other ones. You better know this for your career and for the test. Can a notary notarize a document for a family member? Answer. Rules vary from state to state, but a lot of states don't allow you to notarize documents for immediate family members. Some may, but most of the time, they don't allow it. So know what your state does. Number 8 most missed. We're almost there. Don't hang up yet. What should a notary do if the signer's signature differs from the name on the ID? The signature is different from the name on the ID. Answer. The notary should ensure the signer is indeed the person identified and record any discrepancies in the journal. Some dates may require additional documentation. So at this point, you visualize signature is different. They need to identify themselves and make sure that they're that person. And to cover yourself, you might want to put some documentation in the notary journal so it doesn't come back to bite you later. Number 9 most missed. What are the key requirements for performing remote online notarization, which they call these days a RON, in states that allow it? Some states allow RONs and some states don't, right? So key requirements often include using secure technology, verifying the signer's identification through video conferencing, and ensuring all documents and records are stored where? Stored electronically in compliance with state regulations. If you didn't get that, play it again, Sam. Play it again. Last most missed questions. Did you make it to number 10? How should a notary handle a document that appears to be incomplete or improperly drafted? The document is incomplete or improperly drafted. What should you do? Easy. You should not notarize an incomplete or improperly drafted document. Ensure all sections are completed as required and clarify any issues with the signer before proceeding. Now, in the test, they'll try to trip you up. They'll ask you a question like, how should a notary handle a document that appears incomplete or improperly drafted? And then they'll give you some options like, do not notarize it, ask the person to complete the document while you're there, complete the document and ask the person to complete it later. Notarize the document and ask the person to complete it later. All of the above. Don't be tricked. All right. By now, I hope you hit the like and subscribe. By now, I hope you join the community. By now, you know repetition is king. And if you play this over and over again, you will get the knowledge and you will pass the test on the first try. That's my job. That's my promise to you. Let's knock it out and make that money. See you on the next video.